We start with Blake in her dorm room. It's the middle of the night, and the others are all asleep. Suddenly, her scroll starts to chime, and Blake sleepily answers the call. Hello? Wake up, kiddo. Blake sits upright, startled by the woman's unexpected voice. It's Talk, right? That's what Torchwick called you? You got it. We have a new mission this weekend. We're moving something. More dust? Nah, this is something bigger. Better. It's gonna have to be Faunus only for this mission, so ditch the twins. Why does it need to be Faunus only? I'm sorry, I don't think I pay you to ask stupid questions, kid. Blake grits her teeth angrily but lets out a sigh. Yes, ma'am. I'll text you coordinates. The scroll suddenly hangs up. Blake grunts angrily and flops back down in the bed. We cut over to Team Orange, still in their pajamas as they wake up and get ready for class. Ruby notices a new message from Blake on her scroll. It reads, "Let's talk. Tonight. Black Bear." Ruby texts back a thumb up in confirmation. We jump over to Team Venom, waking up in their own dorm room. Yang's eyes barely open before she sees Nora already zipping around. "Come on, guys, it's our first day as real students! Isn't this exciting?" Yang glares at her, saying nothing. Mercury sits upright, checking his repaired leg. Vernal begrudgingly pulls herself out of bed. "Let's try not to start any trouble today, for once, please." Oh, but that food fight was so fun! It was cool fighting people without worrying about dying! Back in Ozpin's office, I used my maiden powers against that prissy Atlas team. I think the white-haired girl noticed. Let's try to avoid them as best we can. Can't we stay here? I don't want to do this. Mercury is laying back in bed. Nora grabs one of his hands and then grabs one of Yang's hands, shaking them both excitedly. "Come on, sleepyheads!" Yang yanks her hand away from Nora quickly. Nora stops, noticing Yang's sour mood, but shakes her head. "Well, I'm not gonna sit around waiting for you two slowpokes." Nora whirls around, getting ready. Vernal sighs heavily and looks between Yang and Mercury. They both just roll over, turning their backs to her. We transition to Team Posey, entering Port's classroom. Weiss is on her scroll, and Penny cocks her head to the side as they sit down. "What are you looking up, Weiss?" "We still need to go shopping this weekend. I promised you 3 after all. I'm looking at the shops in Vale." Ilya comes crashing down next to them and growls. "Guys, we are so stupid. I just realized we never talked to friggin' Ozpin." The 4 girls groan in unison. "We got so distracted with talking to the police. I had completely forgotten about our plan." "Okay, so we'll talk to Ozpin, like tomorrow or something, right, Penny?" "Me? You're the leader." "Oh, right! I don't know, I feel bad that his office got destroyed because of us." "Hey, that wasn't our fault. It was those big dumb bandits' fault." Penny looks uncertain and Weiss frowns. "You've seemed awfully down in the dumps lately. Is everything alright?" Penny looks startled, then thinks to herself a little bit, her eyes subtly shifting like the aperture to a camera, but none of the girls notice. "Well, I guess I might just be homesick. Here, if it'll make you feel better, you can pick the restaurant we go to when we go out shopping." She starts to hand Penny her scroll, but it slips from her grasp. Weiss reaches out for it, but someone else catches it before it hits the ground. Whoa, careful. Weiss looks up and gasps as she sees Sun. His smile, his blue eyes, his open shirt, his monkey tail. Weiss turns bright red. "Oh! Oops, I'm just so clumsy." She leans towards him, a big smile on her face as she holds out her hand. Ilya and Cinder hide laughter as they watch. Penny raises an eyebrow. "Lucky me, you were here to catch it." "Yup," Sun plops it into her open hand. "I'm Weiss Schnee, heiress to the Schnee Dust Company. I'd love to know your name." "Sun Wukong. Okay, bye." Weiss looks flabbergasted as he unceremoniously runs up the stairs, jumping into a seat next to Blake and Melanie. Weiss turns around and shares a dumbfounded look with Cinder and Ilya. "I thought I was being pretty obvious, was I not?" "Obvious about what?" Weiss groans and flops back into her seat. Suddenly, she's cast in shadow as a new person is standing next to her. She looks up and sees Milsha staring at all of them. "Can we help you?" "Sun is sweet, but totally oblivious. You're gonna have to spell it out for him." She holds out a hand. Weiss shakes it. I'm Milsha Malachite. I love Atlas fashion. Keep in touch. Shni, Obsidian, and Amatola. She hurries after Sun. Cinder leans forward. Finally, some recognition. I still don't know what you were talking about. What do you need to spell for Sun? Weiss shakes her head at Penny, patting her on the shoulder. Don't worry about it. We cut to a montage of Team Venom. They're in Oobleck's class. Oobleck is droning on about the history of Vale. Yang is using her pencil to carve a raven into the table. She glances over at Nora. Her eyes are glued to the map of Remnant, and she's beaming ear to ear. Yang carves harder. Cut to the team in the halls. Vernal is lingering around a corner, eavesdropping on Glinda and Ozpin. She jumps as Nora's loud laughter interrupts the conversation. Nora is chatting with Velvet, Emerald, Wren, and Pyrrha, admiring each other's outfits. Vernal looks back towards the teachers, but they're gone. Cut to the team in Port's class. Mercury looks over and catches some students staring at his legs, whispering to each other. He moves to adjust his position so his legs aren't as easy to see. Port starts writing onto his chalkboard. Each time the chalk strikes the board, the sound echoes louder and louder. Mercury covers his ears. Cut to the team entering another class. Nora runs ahead and starts to chat with Emerald again. Well, at least one of us is having a good time. I would have preferred jail. Yang? Yang's eyes widen and she whirls around, facing Summer. Summer smiles at her. Yang growls back. It's been so long, Yang. I'd love to get to talk sometime. How is Raven and Crow? Yang shoves Summer aside and starts to walk out. Ruby and the rest of Team Orange enter the class as Yang tries to leave. Get away from me already! Yang pushes past the team and disappears into the hallway. Ruby looks back over to Summer. Just let her go. Ruby crosses her arms and pouts, giving the rest of Team Venom a glance. They're all scattered, not looking at each other. Ruby hums thoughtfully. We cut to the end of Summer's class. Students busy themselves. Ruby sighs heavily and Neo taps her shoulder, then shrugs to ask, what's up? It's just... Yang never came back. Neo shrugs again. Well, I don't know. Her team didn't even go after her. Neo points to Ruby, then points to the door. I don't know. I'm not sure if she'd even want to talk to me. Neo shrugs again, then pats Ruby's shoulder. Ruby nods and sighs. Yeah, maybe... I'll see if maybe I can find her. Neo gives her a thumbs up and Ruby leaps up. She walks out into the hallway. Several students mill around. Ruby peers around them, looking for Yang. Suddenly she stops and notices Mercury. He's breathing heavily and covering his ears. Ruby starts to approach him when Yang bursts out of the girls' bathroom. She turns and spots Mercury instantly, grabs hold of his shirt sleeve, and she pulls Mercury out of sight. Ruby frowns and sighs, watching them disappear. Yang pulls Mercury out the front doors and onto the steps outside. Breathe, Merc. Take a deep breath. Mercury nods and holds his chest. Yang takes a deep breath and motions for him to mimic her. They take a deep breath together, then slowly let it out. I really hate people. Yang pats him on the back. Me too. This place sucks. We cut to Yang and Mercury entering the training auditorium. Glinda, standing in the middle, waiting for the students to finish entering. Yang looks over and sees Nora, again with Team Persevere. Yang growls and her hands ball into fists. Oh, for the love of the great tree, that's it! She quickly walks over and grabs Nora's arm. Hey! We've been here one day and you've already lost all your loyalty. Now come on! Yang tries to drag Nora away, but she frees herself from Yang's grip. Stop it, Yang! Emerald and Velvet jump up next to Nora. Yeah, don't be so pushy. She can talk to whoever she wants to. Or you could at least say please. Okay, Nora, please stop acting like a prissy city chump and remember you're a member of the Black Wing tribe. Ugh, you've been a jerk all day. I'm trying to just have some fun. Why can't you? What happened to letting our hair down? Oh, what's next? You expect us all to sit around picking flowers where everything is bright and happy? We're here for a reason, and it's not partying. Now get over here! Yang reaches for Nora again, but she moves out of her way, huddling closer to Velvet and Emerald. Wren suddenly steps up and points at Yang. Hey, back off, would you? What's your problem? Pyrrha also stands up and plants herself in front of Yang, making herself a shield for the others. Move. You know, we're from Haven Academy. You're giving Mistral a bad look. Big talk. You Academy brats don't hold a candle to the proud warrior tribe. My team could knock your lights out in a heartbeat. Pyrrha raises an eyebrow and looks past Yang. What team? Yang turns around. Mercury is sitting near the front door, holding his head in his hands and breathing heavily. Vernal isn't even in the room. Yang looks over to Nora, standing with her arms crossed in the middle of Team Persevere. Yang's shoulders slump. Glinda's voice interrupts them. Okay, let's all sit down. Class is starting. I know everyone's excited about the new visitors, but we're still doing sparring with teammates until the end of the week. Team Persevere stare Yang down until she finally turns and walks away. Yang sadly plods over to Mercury, sitting by his side. Vernal comes tiptoeing in and sits behind them. I checked the library. Still no new info on relics. Yang sighs and crosses her arms, staring down at her shoes. We cut to the end of the day. Team Orange and Team Boom walk down the streets of Vale and enter the Black Bear. It's still a bit empty in the club by this point. Melanie and Milsha waltz up to Junior behind the bar. He smiles, but hesitates once he looks over, and he points directly at Ruby and Oscar. Hold up, girls. I'm gonna need to see some ID for those two. Don't worry, Junior. They're not here to drink. We just need a room at the back to talk about business stuff. Junior glances back over to Team Orange. Looks like this business is getting bigger by the day. He motions for them to go into the back. They enter a luxurious room with large, comfy couches to sit on. Whoa, this place is nice. What's it for, parties? Yeah, if you count drug deals, parties. Oh, sweet Lady Sarah, please forgive me. So, we know the origins of the relics, but what's the deal with them? Well, they're from the gods, so it's not exactly known how their magic works. But gods aren't real. Oscar blinks at her, stunned. But I mean, like we're literally dealing with God's abilities. Blake waves a finger. No, I don't think so. Gods aren't real. Magic isn't real. You know what is? Semblances. There have been countless people with semblances so powerful you could be convinced they were a god. This seems no different to me. She turns to Jean. No offense, I just can't convince myself of this stuff. Jean shrugs. But teach their own, I suppose. You talked about relics and maidens. What's their role in this? Can only a maiden use a relic? No, but Ozpin has hidden the relics in a place where only the maidens can access. Each one is hidden at the 4 schools. Spring for Mistral, winter for Atlas, summer for Vacuo, and fall for here at Beacon. So we can't even get the relic without being a maiden. Why does the White Fang care so much about these relics? Sienna, our high leader, has been making bigger moves towards faunus equality. Having a powerful weapon can help us with that. Well, are the relics actually weapons, though? Not necessarily, in the traditional sense. There's a sword, a staff, a lamp, and a crown. What makes them powerful is their magical abilities. What do they do? Oscar shakes his head. Ozpin wants the relics to be forgotten. He refuses to tell people what their actual powers are. I only know them by their titles. The Sword of Chaos, the Lamp of Knowledge, the Staff of Change, and the Crown of Truth. The crown, that's the one Cardin knew about. If Ozpin wants the relics forgotten, he's doing a pretty bad job at that. Yeah, I'm worried there's someone in his council who might be revealing information to others. Who's in Ozpin's council? The other headmasters? And all the teachers. Ruby suddenly perks up. Wait, like, all of them? Like my mom? Oscar blinks at her, realization sinking in. Ruby turns away. My mom knew? All along? And she didn't even tell me? So only the Fall Maiden can even access the Beacon relic? Who is she? Maybe we can make a deal with her. Oscar shakes his head. Her name's Amber, and unfortunately she's in very unstable condition. She was attacked about 5 months ago. Ozpin's actually been looking for a new maiden to take her place. It seems like she might pass sooner than we hoped. So we're literally just sitting on our hands for the time being. Ugh. I got orders from Torchwick's associate, Talk. I want to know who she's really working for, and how do they play into all of this. She said we're moving something big, and according to the coordinates she sent me, it's going to be held at a White Fang rally. The White Fang are in Vale? They have a small branch here. I don't like the idea of the two of you going in there alone, though. There's not much we can do about that. Neo taps Jean's shoulder and passes him her scroll. She's been typing for a while, and he reads out her message. Oscar, you said one time the Fall Maiden gave up a piece of her power, and now Ozpin has special abilities you'll inherit. But you also mentioned that another maiden also gave up a piece of their power. What happened to them? They all turn to Oscar, and he shakes his head solemnly. I don't really know. It was the Summer Maiden. Legend says she gave a piece of her power to her sister. Ozpin says she's just a fairy tale, though, used as a scary story to get kids to stay in bed when night falls. According to the fairy tale, she's this dark, twisted monster. We see Fennec and Corsic entering a dark room. There's a woman crouching in front of some sort of dark, animal-esque shape. Lady of the Moon, forgive our interruption. Please, boys, how many times have I told you? Call me Salem. Our apologies, Lady Salem. We only want to show you our devoted respect. We've gotten in contact with those 4 members of the White Fang. They're scheduled to meet with Talk for the Paladin shipment. Excellent work, my faithful followers. The animal creature burbles in front of her. Ma'am, may I ask how this new development is coming along? Patience. The next step is the most important part of our mission. The creature garbles pained noises as her hands pass over it, humming with magical power. It must be perfect. The creature groans and its voice turns into a rough scream. Thank you so much for watching. Huge shout out to the fan art. I always love seeing the fan art. You're always so cool, and I appreciate it so much. Shout out to my $10 patrons. You're all amazing. Andrew, Valhalla Knight, Chamomile, Classy Critic, Genital War Thunder, Jake, Amber, Hype Man, Scaring Crows, Not All That Evil, Holly, Messiah, Jacob, Ben's Sketchbook, Rain, Trash, Wild Pilot, Josh, Twisty, Bunkin' Duncan, Hoodie Angel, Ranger, Hut Mutt Butt, Sean, Primaroon, Overhypin, Plague, Tyrene, Thanos, Pandemonium, Peter, Agiri, Shahid, Eden, The Eliza, Doki Pokey, Moon of Blues, Spencer, and Bargus Blue. So yeah, what do you think of this one? Episode 2, things are moving forward. Any and all thoughts and opinions, leave them in the comments below. It's so exciting. I always love seeing what you guys have to say. There's always something about the episode that you all just like really latch onto, and it's always something I'm not expecting. Lots of stuff. Everyone's kind of moving in their different directions now, and it's gonna be exciting. I hope you're excited for episode 3, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.